Yes, welcome a community of thrivers, people that have decided that you are not going to live your lives sinking, just surviving. You are going to thrive. You are going to flourish. You are going to help other people. You are going to be hope dealers and hope givers. It's amazing. The people that keep watching, that feedback that I get from you, please keep it coming. Ask the questions that you need to ask. Send the messages that you need to send. Prompt me about the topics or the themes that you would actually want to listen to. But you realize that everything that we do in this community is one thing, going back to the original plan of God, that if He said that He has come, that we will have life, that we may have life and life in abundance. I will tell you, and I will be like Paul, that I have known what it means to live without. I have known what to with scarcity, with lack. I have known how to live that kind of life. And by God's grace, I have tested what it means to live in plenty. But let me tell you, God's design has always been to always move us to the places where we are, to the places where He has designed us to be. He has a good plan for us. So everything that we'll talk about, whenever you hear me listening, all I am doing is I am acting as a signpost, and I'm drawing you back. I am showing you back to the original design of God, that He has good plans for you, plans to prosper you, and not plans for a bad ending. They are plans for a good ending. But we need the wisdom, we need the knowledge, we need the implementation, we need the information, we need the encouragement, the motivation, the hope to keep going, that even when our situations, the current situations, don't seem or don't even look or align with what God has purposed for us, that it's not the end of the world, it's not the end of the road, that we can still walk back to God's original plan by use of knowledge and the wisdom that we keep sharing on this program and on this show. And I know that so many of you have shared testimonies with me, how your businesses are blossoming, how your mindset has changed, how you go to rediscover your purpose, to unveil your purpose, and you're living happier lives. And if you're not yet happy, I'm telling you that it's only a matter of time. If you keep putting one foot in front of the other, listening to the things that we share and implementing them, not just remaining with the information, but implementing them, I know that we are going to go so far in life. All right. And one of those things is that we will live a life where we leave our children's children a legacy of wealth. All right. And I am so concerned about wealth building. I am so concerned about wealth building because it is one of the pillars that will fulfill our lives. Okay. We don't just have to say, okay, I have made it spiritually, or I have made it in my health, or I have made it. If wealth is not handled well, it is going to affect all the other areas of your life, because you're going to be complaining, you're going to be agitated, you're going to be frustrated, and you're going to be irritable. And we don't want you to be in that place. So some of the things that I want us to share today are the lies that keep us broke and stuck. The lies that keep us broke and very, very, very stuck. And some of these things are things that we have talked about. Normally, people have shared them. They've been passed through the generations, and we have seen them as normal things, as sweeping statements that people have passed. But again, we must be able to discover the truth, or to demystify those myths, so that we can understand how we can be able to get out of places where we are broke and stuck. That is not a good place to be, and that is not the original plan of God. So we're going to dive right into this. But before we dive into this, I want us to just to have something that we really talk about. When we talk about this information, when I give you this information, I need you to not just consume this information, okay? I know that some of you, before you even go to sleep, you are on YouTube consuming some of this information. I know that some of you have made it a daily dose at your workplace. You're watching these videos. But now I want us to be very intentional about the movement, that you do not just get stuck at the level of information, but you go to the level of implementation, okay? Because if you implement, information does not change. Implementation does. Acting on the information does. Okay, doing something about the information actually works in your favor. So I don't want us, because we want to get to the level of mastery, and one of the things that actually we usually hear so much about that keeps us broke and keeps us stuck is that we have to work so hard. Now there are so many people that have said, you know, work so hard, work so hard, work so hard, and I know that I have said it myself so many times that, oh, I worked so hard, I worked so hard, I worked so hard. Now, when you are just starting, it is very, very, it's very important that you actually do everything in your power to make sure that you are jump-starting yourself and you are going ahead, and before you even reach the level of acceleration, but you are jump-starting yourself. Now, that is the hardest place, where you must put in the work, where you must put in, you know, everything. All the muscles must be able to work. The people that have talked, we have talked, or in the mentorship sessions, we have shared the four value chains, or the 4 levels of value, because one of the things that we are going to discover is, in order to create wealth and be able to pass on this wealth to the other generation, or to our children's children, we must be able to have value, because the people that are going to pay us are going to pay us because of value. We are going to earn because of value. We do not just earn by saying we want to earn. Okay, we earn because of value. And now in this value system, this is what I discovered, that there is something that we call, not just, we are used to mental health, but mental wealth. Okay, what is your mindset capacity? What is your status in your mindset? Because if you discover that your mindset is the kind that thinks I must be able to work hard and hard and hard, and you don't know that there is a level where you must work smart, where you must scale, where you must accelerate, and that is the level where money is, not the level of hard working. Okay, I know some of this is going to touch you the wrong way. It is going to pinch you the wrong way, because you have grown up hearing the word work hard, work hard. But I need you to give me a minute, because we are going to make sure that we actually break it down so that you understand. Because in the value system, or in the levels of value, there is the level number 1 that we call implementation, because there are 4 levels. Okay, next time when I use a blackboard or a writing pad, I will be able to show you what it actually means. But there is a level, the down level, the first level is implementation. Now in the implementation level of value, it is the level where someone is told what to do and they actually go ahead and do that. You are employed to do certain things, or you are providing a certain, not even a service, but it could be a service. You're providing a certain service, but you must be able to get the orders of how you must implement. You must be able to do this, and you must be able to deliver it at this time, and you must be able to clean at this time, and you must be able to show up at this time, and you must be able to. Now that is hard work around that sphere of value. It is hard work, because then you have delivery, you have things that you must be able to do, and someone is telling you to actually do this and do this and do this before you can get your paycheck, or before you can earn money. And at that level, you're actually not earning that much money. Some of us know this. We have people that we are employing, could be in our gardens, could be in our homes, could be in different spheres, but you know that they are working so hard that you know, and I've seen this, because how I charge, let me just give an example, how I charge my rate card is per hour. Okay, and you discover that 1 hour in a month, okay, does not even pay someone's does not even equate someone's salary. Not because you work too hard. For example, if I'm just giving an example, if I'm charging 4 million an hour to deliver a speech, okay, yes, I prepared for that speech. Yes, I'm at that level where I give value at that level. All right, so I'm getting 4 million 1 hour, and that is maybe the least amount of money. There is someone that gets that in a whole year or even 2 years. So you see how the systems of value are not fair. The ones that work harder are actually paid less. The ones that work less or work smarter are actually paid more. Okay, so I need you to look at this with a very peculiar eye. and without any form of criticism, because the world is not going to bend to your rules. The world is going to have its own rules and how it's actually running. And that is the fact. There are people that are working too hard. There are people that are digging starting the morning to the evening. There are people that are cooking starting morning to the evening. There are people that are doing hard work. Okay? And they are not being paid according to the hardness of that work, according to the energy, according to the muscle, according to the input. No, they are not. So someone is just deciding and saying, okay, according to how the month has run, this is how much I am going to be giving you per month. Okay? And it's not considering the kind of hard work that you are putting in. That is why you find yourself so exhausted. That is why you find yourself agitated. That is why you find yourself irritable. That is why you find yourself, overwhelmed, okay? Because it just doesn't add up. Because if it was about working hard, or people who were working harder were the ones that were being paid, let me tell you, the people that would be the richest are the people that right now are down at the level of implementation. So now this should explain to you that it's not about working hard and working hard and working hard. That only keeps you broke, and that only keeps you stuck. That means you must be able to improve your mental wealth capacity and status, and understand that wealth is more spiritual. Wealth is not about your muscles. Wealth is not about how many degrees you have. Wealth is not about, and we will talk about that in a minute. Wealth is more spiritual than we would want to know, because the higher we go, the lighter things happen, that become, and the more the rewards, okay? The more the earning, the smarter that you work, the more the earning, okay? The harder that you work. So I need you to look at this, by the way, to look at this with an eye of, I want to get better. I don't want to be broke and stuck. And it's worse if you are broke and stuck at 30, broke and stuck at 40, even worse, broke and stuck at 50. That means, all the bad manners and bad behaviors are going to surround you. Why? Because you did not evolve from level to another level to another level. It's a choice that you make. It's not automatic. The world does not reward you by uplifting you. The world does not reward you or does not reward hard work by taking you from one level to another. You've heard me say it so many times that God does not function like what is it called, a crane. That he's not just going to say, oh, my servant, this man has really worked so hard, so I'm going to remove him from here and I'm going to put him here. Overnight, he's going to find himself in a new place. No. God's blessings require our participation. And participation comes because we have faith. And faith is us acting as if, or in a way that believes that everything God says is actually the truth. If he says, I will bless the works of your hands, okay? If he says, then you're like, okay, I am going to behave like that is the truth. So I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that I give something God to actually bless. So wealth is more spiritual than we ever want to actually admit. We think it's about meat, it's about muscle, it's about working hard, but it's about sharpening, that we will renew our minds, that we will not be conformed according to the standards of the world. God wants us to be elevated and to be renewed to the spiritual realms where things are easier, where things are smarter, where things are accelerated and elevated, where things are flowing, and you are not, just stifled. God does not wish that for you. He does not wish that for you. So now we must be able to take care of our mental wealth. Because when we have expectations, and let me just explain this. I think I've said it before. If you've not watched the program where I talked about being exceptional, or a program where I talked about the belief system, and I told you that ever since my childhood, I had a huge belief that I was going to make it in the world, and I was going to make it big. I didn't know what I was going to do, where I was going to do it from, with who I was going to do it, but I knew I had this belief inside of me. And I will tell you, that is how the mental wealth actually works. That if you have that expectation, the belief is the expectation that I am going to be better, that I am going I'm going to make it, I'm actually going to be filthy rich, I'm actually going to be wealthy, I'm actually going to do, now that attracts the wealth. While the moment you have this mindset of, I don't even know whether I will make it, I don't know where, and that is why for the people that come to the mentorship, and by the way, if you really want to grow, sign up for the mentorship. Come, let me be your accountability partner. But for the people that want to grow, reach other levels, they have to ask themselves, what must I do in this? Can I expect, the moment I expect, when I show up in a place and I have this expectancy, it's actually going to draw the blessing. It is actually going to make things easier for me. Why? Because I have the expectation. Why? Because my mental wealth, I am working on my mental wealth. I am dealing with myself. I am taking away all the negativity. I am taking away the fact that anyone wants to bewitch me, or I'm not going to make it in the world, or the whole world is against me. And I'm like, no, if God is for me, no one can be against me. So that sharpens my mental wealth. And I'm like, you know what? I am favored wherever I go. I attract wealth wherever I go. So the way you will work, the way you will show up, the things that you will talk about, your positivity, your kind of smile, as in your status is going to in a way change. Why? Because you have changed your mental capacity, your mindset shift. So that is why I usually tell the people in the mentorship when they sign up, and I'm like, we are going to do this, what you came thinking, you've come for strategy, but actually I give you more of the mindset shifts, okay, so that the strategy can work, because strategy alone minus the mindset shift, you are actually you're not going to make it in the world, okay? So I need us to move together. The first level is the implementation level, okay? The implementation level. The second level is the unification level. Now at the unification level, remember, we're talking about the, you have to work hard in order to make it in life. That is keeping so many people broke and so many people stuck. We do not want to be there. So the next level is the unification. The unification is really using your management skills, okay? So you realize that at the level of unification, because there are four, we have implementation and then we have unification, and that is where the line is drawn. Now, because these two are the levels where you need to work hard. If you're a manager, a line manager, you're getting orders from above and you have to be able to implement them. So now you're working hard, you people, you're doing this, you're delegating, you're calling for meetings, you are chastising people, you're rebuking people, you're putting them back in line. Yes, it's not as hard as implementation. Yes, and you're getting a lot more money than implementation. So the implementation is the lowest and you get low money, and then unification is the next one. You get a little bit higher money, and that is where the line is drawn. Now the next two is where we have the communication. Now communication, just like I said, that God is not going to lift you from one place and one status and take you to another. Now the communication is where someone decides and said that, you know what, I have worked hard enough, I have maybe gone to the level of unification, or maybe I'm still at the implementation level, but again, I want to be able to get to a place where I can be able to make my money, write my own check. I know so many times we have given people an opportunity and say that, by the way, you can all be salespeople. You can all go out there and actually sell. Because when you sell, you actually write your own check. Because then you determine the number of doors you're going to knock. You determine the number of products that you need to sell. What you need to have is the product knowledge. What you need to have. So you realize that that is a level where someone decides and say that, you know what, enough is enough. I am not going to die here at this level of implementation. I'm not going to die here and get stuck and broke at the level of unification. I am deciding and I am switching my mental wealth and my mental status and mindset, and I am shifting to a level where I can determine the kind of money that I want to make. Do I want to make less? Do I want to make more? That is the level of freedom where you can be able to decide and say, this is the kind of money that I want. How does that sound to you? Is that a level where you're stuck, or is that a level where you're broke? No, that is not a level where you actually decide to be broke. That means you have a decision. You can decide to be broke and stuck. You can decide to be wealthy, and you can decide to be rich. You can decide to actually have the money that you want, because you sit down in a month and decide, how much do I want to earn? And then you're like, okay, how much am I going to make it? How many products do I need to sell? How many times do I need to show up? Do I need to build a personal brand? Do I need to create a coaching package? Do I need to, as in, what is it? Do I need to record an album? What do I need to do? Do I need to put a concert? Do I need to create an event? Do I need what? Everything that I am talking about is under communication. That is why when you get to that level, you determine. So you see that working hard at things that are not working is actually a wrong approach. Work hard at the things that are working. Because when you get to the level of to the level of communication, okay? Because that is where most people that come to the mentorship want to evolve from the level of unification to the level of communication. And later, because the last level is the level of imagination. The level of imagination, that is where most people say, oh, but you earn money without even, working too much for it. Why? Because that is the level where you have books, maybe. That is the level where you have albums. That is where the level where, so you're not going to go back to a studio and record it again, but it's going to bring you money for the rest of your life. That is the level where I have a YouTube channel, and this YouTube channel is going to have my videos forever, and these videos are going to still bring me money or for the rest of my life. Okay, so I don't need to go back and re-record them. I mean, people are going to watch them. Even after 10 years, they will be blessed. Even after 20 years, they will be blessed. And guess what? Money will be coming in. So I don't need to work for that money. That money is coming in without necessarily my input. That is the level of imagination. When deliberately selfish sells, when tears on my pillow sells, when my trailblazers journal sells, whatever it is, as in, that is when the course accelerated mentorship sells. I mean, it's an evergreen kind of course. So I am not going to work at it forever. I am building systems, and these systems are going to auto sell this course after some time. And so that means I don't have to work at it. I can create other things. Like I have the narcissistic recovery, or recovery from narcissistic abuse. That is a course that is moving on its own. I am not having any weekly calls. I am not having any classes, but whoever is going through that is buying the course, watching it on their own, and all I'm saying is money actually coming. So that is the level of imagination. So you realize that there is one that is digging an anthill, there is one that is working so hard at the muscle level, there is one that is a manager that is managing the ones that are implementing, then there is one that is saying, you know what, no, I want to decide my own check every month. I am climbing to the level of communication. I want to be able to get the knowledge. I want to go to the level of mastery. Will I work hard? Yes, I will work hard, but I will be working hard on something that is actually working. So I will not be just throwing away my energy. So if I wake up at night, if I read, if I research, is that hard work? Yes, you would call it hard work. But again, it does not involve muscle. It does not involve pushing a wheelbarrow. It does not involve digging. It does not involve, the implementation, even if it's not that muscle kind of work, but you have to be able to move this and move that and deliver that and deliver that, and it's still at that level. Still, I will not be working as hard as that person. I will be working hard in a different way, in a softer way. So this is when people say, oh, this is a soft life, this is a soft life era. Yeah, for some people it's a soft life era. Why? Because they have created the foundations. They have gone through everything. I think I've said it before that when it comes to TV, when it comes to radio, I have gone through the lowest. I have gone through the starting. That is why how I lead people, how I help people is going to be totally different from someone that skipped the levels. I started by keeping, keeping the studios safe. Okay, at night I'm sleeping at the studio just to make sure that everything is running and everything is safe. I went to the level of a presenter. I went to the level of traffic. I went to the level of, I have been to every level. So now I understand. I have created my own graphics. I have recorded my own, I've done production, every level. And where I am, I'm like, yeah, I've been through every level. I know what it is, but down there I was broke and stuck, and I needed to actually get to another level of my life. And I just decided and said that I am sick and tired of being sick and tired, and enough is enough. I do not want anyone to determine what kind of money I earn. So now I determine how much money I want to earn. And I will tell you, if the month is low, I will know that I did not put in as much as I actually had to put in. What do I need to put in? Maybe promotion, maybe sponsor, maybe show up, maybe, and it's softer than the implementation. And no one is screaming any orders down my neck. I'm just deciding that, you know what, this is how I want to show up. I want to build my personal brand. And even building does not stop and say, oh, I already built, so now I'm just going to sit and enjoy. No, we keep building every single day. So I wanted to have that notion of hard work cleared, okay? There are people who have more than 2 jobs, but you are exhausted. You are working longer hours. You are exhausted. In this age and era, there is a different decision that you can make and say, okay, on top of this that I am doing, there is something else that I love to do. And there is that very thing, there are other people that need it. And that other thing that people are willing to pay for it. And that's something I am good at it. Those are 4 things. And that is the ikigai, okay? For those of you that have gone ahead and actually looked at it, that, you know what, there is this thing that I love doing. For example, I love baking cakes, okay? Are people in need of cakes in the world? People need cakes. So you enjoy doing it. People need it. Can they pay you for it? Yes, they can pay, because there are people that are making money making cakes. And then, am I good at it? I can actually improve on my skills. I can enroll in a short course of 2 weeks or 1 week, and then I actually know how to do wedding cakes, how to do birthday cakes, how to do, you know, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, I have 4 things working for me. I love doing it. The world needs it. The world can pay me for it, and I am good at it. And boom, I have something that I can offer the world that is not at the level of implementation, not at the level of unification, but at the level of communication. So now I can be able to say, you know what, I am going to show up in these markets. I am going to show up and network at different events. I'm going to tell people that I do these things. How do you think people that make juice have made it? Okay, they just decided. There's a time we talked. I had a show. I hosted the Lausi, and he explained he was treating his father in Nairobi, and after treating, the father had cancer, and so he was directed what kind of juices that he needed to make. He was taught how to make juice at the hospital because the father needed to survive. So he made those juices. Remember, he's at campus, so he comes out of Nairobi after the father dies, and he decides that, okay, I got this skill. What do I need to do? I don't have tuition. I don't have my older brothers also have so many responsibilities. And so he decided, you know what, let me just ask someone who has a fridge and just tell them I'm going to be making this juice, bring it so that we can see if people can drink it. And then all of us, this is what happens. When he took it there, people started over consuming it. So you'd have to make juice in the morning, juice in the afternoon, juice in the evening. Before you know it, he created a shop. He bought a fridge for himself because the other one was no longer enough. And he stopped sub-renting, and he had his own, you know, shop where he was doing this, and it became a full-time business that he employed other people. And now he's at a corporate level that when you go to a wedding that does not, and then so many other people saw that that was working and they started doing it. So now there are so many Dalausis out there that are doing the same business, okay, and they're all earning money. Because how many functions do we have in Kampala? How many weddings do we have in Kampala? How many burial ceremonies do we have in Uganda, not just in Kampala, or in the world? Okay, so you realize that you're the only one limiting yourself. There are some of you who sit there and they're like, but they are selling clothes, but there are so many people that are selling clothes. Okay, yes, there are so many people that are selling clothes. So you're going to sit broke and stuck and do what? And just keep complaining how the whole world is saturated? Can't you just get over yourself, get over your pride, and just get to doing something and just say enough is enough, and I'm sick and tired of being unsick and tired? Okay, I need you to think twice. I need you to think twice. And in this age and era, I'm not just talking to men, because back then they used to talk to men, oh, work hard, oh, work hard. No, these days the women actually have to work harder. Okay, so I need you to look at this and understand, which level are you at? Which level are you at? And some of us, by the way, for God to show us that we have stayed at that level for so long, you will be tired and agitated and exhausted. The same job that used to give you satisfaction is no longer giving you satisfaction. The same job, you used to look forward to it. You went to it, by the time you were looking for the job, when you got it, you were so thankful. You were so grateful. You looked forward to it. But 2 years down the road, you feel like, you know what, I feel like I am stuck. I feel like things are just not shifting. Why? The standards of living have since changed. Inflation rate has gone high. Things are changing at a very fast rate. So if you were getting, let me say, 2 millions or 3 millions or 5 millions last year, if you can still get it this year, it's not the same. The value is not the same. The value has gone down. So the things that you can get within that money are actually few. So now what I am telling you is you have the decision in your hands to decide, what do you have in your hands? What can you start with? Okay, what do you love that the world needs and can pay for, and you are good at it? Those are 4 things. Make sure that you look for them, just instead of just getting exhausted and tired, and you actually don't have time for your family. You don't have time to build a business that you would have been building. You don't have time for anything else. All the time that you have is consumed in implementation and unification. I hope that you can be able to go back and look at your life. All right, so I need us to work smarter. And working smarter, we involve our minds, our brains. We renew our minds. We are not conformed to the standards of the world, okay? We don't move according to how our parents moved. I think there's a time we were at the coach experience, and I explained the different generations, you know, right from back then, where we had, you know, machinery, where we had coffee, and then we got to places where we had those machines, people used to operate them. And so most people would say, go to school and, you know, and become a manager, because managerial jobs were being given to people who had maybe a diploma or a degree or something like that. Okay, so the other thing that I want, the other lie that I want us to talk about is exactly that: go to school and get a degree. And believe me, I am not beating down any kind of form of education and degree. I know they are really good. The person that is talking to you, in all my hardships, I purposed in my life that, you know what, I actually need to go back to school to make sure that I get that degree, to make sure that I get that master's, to make sure that I get that PhD. So in no way am I underlooking and downplaying education, okay? But I'm saying in this age and era, you actually don't need an education in order to thrive. You can still be educated and thrive, but even without an education, you still have a gift. You still have something that you can offer the world. You can still get a skill that can help you fast track your wealth building journey, okay? So you don't have to sit down and say, oh, but for me, I didn't go to school. No, you didn't go to school. I mean, that's gone, that's gone. You can never go back. You are 30 right now. You're not going to go back to sit in P1 and start the journey again. No, but start now and ask yourself, what do I have? What can I change? What skill can I acquire? What kind of confidence do I need in order to start up something and in order to actually make it work? Okay, so the going to school, that was then when parents used to tell their children. But right now, we have gone on to different levels, okay? We are no longer operating machinery. Right now, we're in the level of communication, that people are earning out of speaking. People are earning out of coaching. People are earning out of, you know, out of personal branding. People are earning out of influencing. People are earning out of graphics designing. People are earning out of photography. People are earning out of content creation. People are earning out of DJing. People are earning out of dancing, where you don't need to go to any school. Yes, some people go to schools to learn dancing, but there are those that are naturals, that when they see other people, when they watch other people, they keep attracting that energy. They know what to do, and all of a sudden they're being paid for doing that. People are being paid for just posing and modeling in clothes, and they don't need to be models. I've seen people that are plus size, okay? People that even have 150 kilos, and all of a sudden they go buy their clothes, they have a mirror in front of them, they have a wall behind them, and they have a camera in front of them. All they need is a phone, and all of a sudden they are lifting their legs and they are tilting their bodies, and all of a sudden they're being paid as influencers. They're earning highly, more than people that are seated in office from starting morning to evening. So you realize that you just need to expand your mind. You need to expand your mind. You cannot stay in the same state of mind like your parents were and your 4 grandmothers, and you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Okay? Right now, you can do anything. You can acquire any kind of skill that you actually need. Okay? And this also includes the kind of, when someone says, I've heard so many people say that, oh, money is the root of all evil. Yeah, money is the root of all evil. I have had that statement thrown around so many times. But I will tell you the source of evil, or the root of evil, are people themselves and what they do with money. It's not the money. You need the money. You need the money. Life is simpler with money. Life is easier with money. Okay? And I'm not saying that money is going to give you happiness. But again, if you don't have the money, you cannot even have the simple things. You cannot afford the simple things that even bring the happiness. Okay? Food, housing, medical treatment. Okay? So if you say money is the root of all evil, that is why it incapacitates our minds and our mindsets, and then we tune off, because then we are thinking money is bad. And remember, I told you that money or wealth is actually more spiritual. That once it detects that your mindset is actually switched off, it's like locking off the tap of, if someone says water is bad, you lock off the tap. You just close the tap. So when someone says money is bad, you close the tap. You close the source of money. The source of money is your intellect, your creativity, your mindset. Okay? So now you close it off and say, you know what? Since money is bad, I am not going to go that side. Let me just work hard. Let me just, get frustrated. Let me just get tired. Let me just get, the small that I can get by. But just like I say, the world is running so fast. Okay? Things are increasing in prices. Back then, you used to go with 100,000, go to a supermarket and come out with a big Cavera or with a big bag. But right now, you go with 100,000 and you come with one thing holding it in your hand like this, and you're like, but where has my money gone? It has gone because you bought something. So the standards of living have gone too high. So if you just go and say, you know what, money is the root of all evil, there are people that have money but are not evil. They are actually very kind. They are supporting other people. And that is the prayer that my husband and I made long time ago. And that should have been more than 15 years ago. And we say that, God, if you can bless us, if you can bless us, if you can open the windows of heaven, if you can, even when it comes to tithing, we have always been the kinds of people who tithe above and beyond, not just give the actual tithe, the sacrifice, the offerings. And we're like, God, that will bless us so we can be a blessing to other people. That has always been our prayer, that you will bless us, that will be a blessing to other people. So you cannot help other people if you are not blessed, if you're not financially stable. Otherwise, everything that you'll be taking will be disappearing with your own life, and you will still be broke and stuck. You don't want to be that, okay? So I want you to cross that statement and just know that it's the people and what they do with the money. But the money itself has no problem. The money itself has no problem. God wants you to live in abundance, and part of that abundance is you having wealth, and part of that wealth is you having money, whether in liquid form, whether in asset form, but you having the money. All right? And then the other thing that keeps us broke and stuck is not investing in ourselves. Not investing in ourselves. Thinking that we're just going to get everything free. Let me tell you, free things you take long to even understand or to even implement or to even... One of the reasons as to why so many people choose to even come into the mentorship, some of them come when they are good. And sometimes I would even ask them, what do you want again? Because you seem like you are okay. Because I want to confirm what they really want so that we can work in that approach, in that same format, so we can get the desires of their hearts and the results that they want. And some of them will say, you know what? I've been consuming a lot of free content, and I just need direct strategies. So what they need by investing in themselves, what they need is that these years will be, if they were supposed to learn over a period of 5 years or over a period of 3 years, self-taught and free information, they would have taken 3 years or 5 years. But they want to be able to condense this into 6 months, into 3 months. And they're like, I would need to know the strategies. I need to know not just a shortcut, because it's not a shortcut, but there is a mentor that has been there, done that, and I want to listen from that person so that I can know how to fast track my own growth, how to fast track my own results, how to fast track my own earning, how to fast track my own purpose and the passion that I have in the inside of me. So investing in yourself is being able to have it sooner and better and faster instead of taking a longer period of time, because I don't want to give anyone my money because I don't know. I know there are so many fraudsters out there. And I know there are so many people that have signed up for the mentorship and told me, there is one lady, I think I told you about her. She came in after she was duped somewhere else. Someone called for a public speaking course, announced a public speaking course, and she signed up for it. And then the date came and nothing was starting. When she asked the guy that, okay, what's happening? I signed up for public speaking and we're supposed to start this week. This guy told him that, you know, it's not enough people that signed up. Actually, you signed up alone. So let's wait until I can get more people. So this lady waited for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and nothing was happening. And when she tried to call him, he did not pick again. And so she was like, you know, when she saw me talking about the mentorship on Facebook, so she decided to sheepishly, she was like, you know what? You have all these packages, you have the coaching, you have the public speaking, the personal branding, and the business growth. But for me, I want particularly public speaking. Can I be able to pay half of the money? And, you know, because she was coming from a fearful background. And so I was like, okay, what are your reasons for wanting to just pay half of the money? And so she told me her background. And I told her, worry not. I'll actually give you the full package, you know, at half the price, because I knew she was hurting and she was fearful, but I knew I wanted to hold her hand to be a better person. And so she came into the program, and all of a sudden I'm showing up every single Tuesday, every single Friday, and I'm giving them more time, individual time, and they're asking me questions. They have individual, you know, things that they want to create. She wrote her book. I actually helped her. I wrote the foreword. We actually launched the book, and right now she has written 2 books, and you know, she's doing mind-blowing things in the industry. And she told me, she actually wrote it in her book. She told me much later on the whole story, how it had gone ahead, but she took she had enough reasons to reinvest in herself. Even when she was fearful, she invested in herself, and she was able to condense this knowledge. She was able to write the books. She was able to be out there, to make more money, to live a better life, a happy life. She knows what to do. She is building her personal brand. It's becoming bigger and bigger. All why? Because she took a risk on herself. Investment most of the times will be a risk, okay? Because you never know whether you're going to get returns on investment. But again, when you invest in a good investment, you are sure that you're actually going to get the returns on your investment. So if you say, me, I don't want to invest in myself, I just want to, you know, to learn the hard way, to knock the walls, to fall in the ditches, there is someone who has walked that journey. That if you, for example, there's someone who has made candles, there's someone who has made soap. And so if you want to get into the same business of making soap, you don't need to go and just you fall in the ditches and then, you know, all those things. Go straight to someone who has done it, and they will charge you some money. I've had some of them charge just 150,000 for 3 days, okay, to make sure that they give you the skills. They tell you how to melt the wax, how to do this and how to do that, and all of a sudden how to brand yourself, and so all of a sudden now you already have the skill to set up a business and start earning from that business. All why? Because you invested in yourself 150,000 to make sure that you actually learn, instead of saying, oh, you know what, I'm just going to go and buy my own things. I don't have money to waste on people, and then I'm going to start learning the hard way. So you're going to spoil so many things. You're going to spoil so many jars. You're going to spoil your wax. You're going to spoil your wigs. You're going to spoil everything, because you want to learn, and learning is going to take a lot longer because you didn't want anyone to hold your hand. So one of the reasons as to why so many people are staying broke and stuck is because they do not want to invest in themselves. Invest in yourself, okay? And there's this thing that we have in church, God will make a way. Yeah, that is the winner. God will make a way. I don't know how many people that have been made lazy by that statement. Believe me, I believe in God. I believe in the miraculous God. I believe in a God who makes a way where there seems to be no way, and that is his nature. He will never change. From the beginning of the world, of the earth, before even the world or the earth existed, that is who he was. He makes a way where there seems to be no way. But when it comes to getting out of being broke and stuck, Okay? He expects us to use our brain. He expects us to be creative because he created us with creativity, that we are gods. He placed power under our tongue. Okay? And he says, choose life so that you can live. So that means he knows that, by the way, you can get out there and get a skill. You can get out there. You don't just need to be in church and just say, God will make a way. God is not going to. It's like someone saying, oh, I want to be married, but again, you stay in your house and lock yourself in the house. And you're like, since God is going to make a way, he's just going to bring a guy. And this guy is going to be this and looking that and looking that. And then all of a sudden, this guy is going to come into my room. Even when that happens, you realize you will run away because you will think that is a ghost that has appeared to you. So God does not work that way. Yes, he will make a way, but can you put on nicely? Can you smell nice? Can you go and sit somewhere? Can you involve yourself in charity events? Can you involve yourself in networking events? Can you go for Bible study? Can you go for prayer nights? Can you go, as in, involve yourself somewhere where someone can actually see you, where someone can be able to find you? But here you are, locked yourself in the house, and you're also praying in your prayer chamber, and you're saying, God, make a way where there seems to be no way. No, he is not going to do that. You're being too lazy. And this is a generation that is just clapping for laziness and creating more laziness upon more laziness. Okay? Yes, he will make a way, but he needs to work with something. Okay? Just like I said, that God's blessings in our lives require our participation. And our participation are the decisions that we make. And we make those decisions with faith because we know that what he has said and his word is yes and amen, that he's going to fulfill it. All right? So I need you to look at that sequence and know that yes, he will make a way, but he needs you to be able to take a step of faith. He needs you to be able to say, okay, to survey, to be able to look at the businesses and decide that this is what I want to do, and decide the people that are doing this, where are they getting their merchandise. He's not the one that is going to look for them for you. He's not the one that is going to know the price points. He's not going to come into your dreams and just give you the whole roadmap. If it were like that, let me tell you, everyone in church would be the richest person on earth. Why is it that we have broke people in churches? Why is it that we have stuck people in churches? Okay? It's because for every promise, there is a principle. And so we shun away from the principles because the principles look hard. He says, I will bless the works of your hands. That means you need to work at something. That means you need to get a skill. That means you need to show up. That means you need to be consistent. And so he will bless you because you are consistent. Just imagine, if you're not consistent, you're showing up today, you're not showing up tomorrow. When people come to buy, they find your shop closed 3 days in a week, and then they find it open in 2 days a week. So when they find it closed 3 days in a row, they're like, you know what, this person is not serious. It's like a person who is building a personal brand. You're showing up on internet or on social media platforms. You're showing up on Monday, and then you take the whole week. You're not, oh, content creation is hard. Oh, I even don't know what to post today. Oh, I don't even have clear pictures. And then people are forgetting that you're actually existing, because you posting on social media as a personal brand, as a coach, as a public speaker, or as a business person, is you opening your office in the morning and telling people, hey, look here, I am open. You can actually come and buy. So you can actually just say, we are open. You can actually just say, book a session. You can actually just say, good morning, how are you doing? And, tell me about your day. And people know, oh, she's still in business. She has opened her office because her office is on social media platform. Okay? So I don't want us to be lazy. I don't want us to be lazy. Yes, God will make a way. He will make a way. But there is a principle to every promise. Okay? If he says that, obey and you will eat the good of the land. Some of us will just say, oh God, I want to eat the good of the land. Please bring the good of the land. And God is in heaven, laughing, folding his hands and just dying with laughter and saying, you look at this foolish person. Okay? I need her to obey. I need her to obey to be consistent. I need her to obey to get a skill. I need her to obey to pray. I need her to obey. Can you believe even the slightest, the simplest things like prayer? You don't have to buy anything. You don't need to go anywhere. Simple prayer. We procrastinate on prayer. We slumber in prayer. We go days without prayer. And we have expectations, and the expectations for God to deliver on his promises of protection, of, you know, of wealth, and yet we don't want to do the principles. That's not going to happen. Okay, so I need you to double check yourself. I need you to double check yourself. If for so long you've been saying, you know what, I'm just broke, I'm just broken, I'm just stuck, what are the lies that you are telling to yourself? Are you telling yourself money is the root of all evil? So now you're saying, I can stay with small money since I will not be evil before God. I need to be holy before God, and that means not having money. Yeah, God said we should have 100% on earth and 100% in heaven. And let me tell you, some of us are so serious about maximizing our 100% on earth before we go to the 100% in heaven. So some of us are also going to miss heaven because we lived very poor and broke lives and stuck lives, and all of a sudden we developed habits. Do you know that poor people have habits? Okay, habits of over criticizing people, habits of fighting, habits of abusing people, of insulting people. When you are overwhelmed, when you are agitated, the last thing on your mind is to please God. The last thing on your mind is to be righteous. The last thing on your mind is to seek God. Okay, so I need you to reposition yourself. I need you to know the truth, that it's not that money is the root of all evil. It is what people do with that money that is actually evil. So for you, are you going to decide to use it for evil, or you're going to use it for God's kingdom, or you're going to use it to gain people? I mean, to gain, for a good gain, or to benefit others, or to also live a good life, to have your children live a good life. They actually deserve it. All right. So remember the things that we have talked about. Working hard. Do not work hard on things that are not working. Work hard on things that are actually working. Seek to go from implementation to unification, and just seek to just bundle that and walk away from that and say enough is enough. I want to go to the communication and imagination, because that is where I belong. That is the thriving. I'm going to thrive there. I'm going to be a blessing to other people, and my mindset is going to be different. You just choose and say, I'm going to alter, I'm going to tweak, I'm going to adjust my mindset so that I can be able to actually get the things that I need to be able to get. All right, so we've talked about people that say go to school. Go to school is a good thing. I'm not downplaying school or discouraging school, but you realize that there are things that we must be able to do in order to be able to get to the things that we need to get. And some of them, by the way, is getting the skill, is networking with people, is just understanding the whole dynamic of how wealth is created. Okay, so let's actually do that. And then some of us are in a hustle culture. We are hustling, and we are hustling, and we are hustling, and we are hustling, and we are hustling at things that we don't know about. We are hustling as in it's about the grind, it's about the grinding, it's about the grind. I know that is a good thing. That is a culture that people have created out there. But I will tell you that as I grow from level to level, and where I have reached, I have known that it's not just about the hustle. Okay, it's about how we recalibrate our brains. It's about how we simplify things. It's about how you solve another person's problem. Today someone was asking me, how can I make more money? The question was weird, because this person was saying, I want to get to a level of making 400 millions. And this person was actually thinking 400 millions is a lot of money. And I was thinking, I mean, I wish you knew that 400 millions is actually not that money. But at his age, he thinks 400 million is that much money. And so he's asking, what business can I do that I can get over time a profit of 400 millions? And so I was like, it's not just about 400 millions. It's not about just the profit, but I need us to go back to the basis, okay, to the basics of this, understanding what skills, okay, what giftings that we have, the things that we love to do, the things that the world needs, the things that the world is willing to pay for, the things that we are good at. The moment we look at those things, then there's going to be longevity. You're not just going to make profits 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 year or 3 years, but it's going to be for a lifetime. Okay, so I need you to invest in yourself. I need you to just say, yes, God will make a way, but God expects me to do something, so let me do what is in my docket and leave God to make the way that he promised that he will make on top of that. Okay, so And on top of God's blessings, he never adds sorrow. So I do not, being broke and stuck is actually sorrowful. It's not a good thing. So I need us to evolve from that level, to outgrow that level, to also look back with testimonies and also say, see what the Lord has done. It is very possible. And for those of you that actually need further help, or you need to enroll into the mentorship, 0757 117 117, 0757 117 117. Let's talk. Let's see whether you're a perfect fit for, because there are people who are not actually fit to be in accelerated mentorship. If you're a perfect fit, then we will draw a roadmap for you, and we will see how we can fast track your growth and fast track how you evolve in your passion, in your purpose, and the calling that God has placed on your life. Otherwise, from me to you is, I love you.